think I found a way to bypass the battery discharge warning. Somebody will have to test it to verify, but if you touch setup, go to the right, go to system info, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you didn't actually have to do it twice, it just didn't take the command, it thought I hit the update button. But 10 times in the bottom, tried at different speeds, it can be finicky. We're in engineering mode right now. Whatever you touch is at your own risk here. There are some things that you can screw up in here, but what you're going to want to do is go down, go to module info, go next, system settings, discharge warning. Now, I've been messing around with this a bunch, and I can't, technically, I don't really remember this option being there, so I may have changed something to allow that option to show up. Others can try to find the same option and see if they can find it. But a few more things that I have in here. Sorry about the light, but that's the only way to record good. We've got some DLNA, some Wi-Fi, different things, set logs, sound settings, system info. You can see some networking settings, stuff like that. Variant codings in here for telematics. I think the HD I'm currently working on getting a bigger display to work in here, and I think it's being argumentative. The touchscreen does not want to work on that side for some reason, and it's not a quick reset or a calibration thing, because if you hot swap this screen for that screen turns on, shows video, but there's no touch. This one, if you swap it back, touch works perfectly fine. So I'm still trying to figure that part out, but I'll give you guys just a little look at what's in here in case you haven't seen it. All-in-one version just shows you a crap load of different data about your thing. System software history if you've done any updates. System software history screen. Repeat. Version shows you what version you're running for your stuff. This is Android 4.2.2. It's probably standard. I've never done an update. I'll just click through some stuff if you want to pause the video and read each one. If a lot of these say unknown, it's likely because I unplugged the battery not too long ago in my efforts to get touchscreen to work again. A lot of these, if you touch them, it'll do an update to pull the data to try to figure out what's going on. Let's see, copy to SB, got some logging and stuff, create gang images, update DSP for the radio, tuning and settings and crap. DSP imaging, force an update if you prefer. Diagnosis is not a whole lot of anything. I think the engine button would have to be on to do it, and I think you can just look at random things. I haven't gone into it to see if you can actually find any settings within those, but you're welcome to play with that on your own time. Let's see, variant coding I showed a little bit of. It's pretty much just that, and then you can change amp, internal, Mobus, or Harman. You could try to play with these settings just to see if something cool happens. Worst case scenario, just get back into the menu and change it back. I recommend, if you're going to play around, I would only do one setting at once so you don't forget what's what. You'll want to make sure you don't screw that up too much. CPU variant coding is interesting. There's Bluetooth, which is boring. Door, which doesn't make any friggin' sense, to me at least. Unless for some reason it changes that image up there so that you don't see extra doors, I suppose. There you go, you can turn your Stinger into a sedan. MTC, remove RCAM. RCAM, the best guess that I had on that one was something to do with cam angle or something like that, but I don't see why that would be in here. Let's see, module info. There's some microphone settings and beep barging. I think that has to do with maybe parking sensors or something weird, I don't know. Again, you can play with all these. There's VR engineering mode. Some of these don't do crap except for turn into Christmas lights. Status info. There's some random ones again. These are all unknown because I don't have the car running and stuff like that, and the battery was just unhooked. Some random ones here. Here's the little like Wi-Fi wannabe settings. I doubt they turn on Wi-Fi, so don't get excited. Some random things in here you can mess with. Cluster mode setting. I love clusters. Back. Care. There's all sorts of random stuff in this one. A lot of it's in Korean, so that's cool. You can get a little translator app, and they don't really say anything cool, so don't get too excited. I don't think this one will do anything, because it's got like vehicle setting information. This is where I would assume all the cool, fun stuff is. I translated all these, and they don't say anything like, hey, tap here 10 times if you're American and want to get in, so no excitement there. The developer tool thing, I think it just takes you back to the other menu. Yeah, like that. So apparently it doesn't like it if you pretend to be a developer. DM client, no idea. Time set. Beep test doesn't do a friggin' thing. It might have to do with the car needing to be on to do like the outside buzzer and whatever. And then there's this cool menu. Again, I don't remember a lot of these ever being here. This looks like a memory cache. It's got 188 megabytes out of 377. Although it doesn't say megabytes per se, it just says MIB. Whatever that is. So, I did translate some of these too, and it was not a whole lot of anything interesting. Let's see, DTC for developer, I just turned on. That was that DTC developer menu, so there's some diagnostics craps for modules, networks, other, module for other, whatever that is. Most of these just seem to be diagnostic. They don't seem to do anything really. Telematics test, I'm sorry about that. Sign test, engineering mode camera. I think that allows you to change how the rear view camera sees and the angle. Some simple info. As you can see, ignition's on, alternator is not running, illumination's off. Let's see. See? There's, here, focus, you stupid. Alright, so you can see illumination's on now. And then there's a PWM level, which is power with modulation. That's the percentage of power that it's putting out, so it's phase converted at 63. And then you shut it off and it goes away. Those just kind of tells you, I suppose, diagnostics if you're having issues, like amp says connected, so if you weren't having audio, you'd be like, oh, okay. I also have one door open and one door unlocked, even though there is 2 doors open, so that's a lie. Usage of CPU, I don't think, okay, let's see, I don't know what that would be used for per se, unless you were trying to like overclock it, but that's the gist of it. So again, to get into it, you tap here 10 times, there once. It's kind of finicky. We'll try it again. See, it thought I clicked update, so I go back to cancel. There we go. So it can be kind of finicky. There were some other videos that talked about needing to put in the time for the password and stuff, and that doesn't seem to be true. So enjoy it. Try the battery discharge warning. I have not seen the warning a single time since I did that. If you do unhook this screen and hook a different screen in, I know that it changes your settings, so I'm assuming anytime you rehook this up, it pulls some sort of variant coding to this to check to make sure all the settings make sense. For instance, this cluster here, I went into the engineering mode and actually activated navigation at one point in time, and it actually puts it on the cluster as a menu instead of the just 2 menus that you get on the base GT. It had 3 menus, but then when I reinstalled the cluster, it must have pulled variant coding from the ECU because navigation was gone, so who knows, but enjoy. If you're in your car, it'll be a fun story to tell somebody, but enjoy.